at Delhi University, and co-chairperson, Professor Dr. Mamta Singh, faculty in the area of HR and OB, CIMP. Now, I would like to invite Mohammad Afroz and Birendra Goswami for a paper presentation on the topic Performance Measurement of ESG, a secure cloud computing approach to Internet of Things.
Good afternoon, everyone. Honorable Chair of the session, my dear friends, thank you so much. I would like to thank CIMP for giving me the opportunity to present my paper to the conference. As you can see on my screen, my topic today is a secure cloud computing approach to IoT, Internet of Things. It would be nice if I can query about my car key on one of my applications on the mobile or on a browser, that where is my key, and I get a reply that my key is somewhere. Or it might be fancier one day that I'm sitting and I get a notification on my mobile that I have run short of some grocery and the message from the refrigerator. Or it would be nicer that I don't have to think about what things I have to do. I get automatically notifications and my job is being done. It looks like science fiction, isn't it? But no, we are not very far from being this into the reality, because here comes the IoT, Internet of Things. Welcome to the world of IoT. IoT, what is IoT? It's a fusion of real life things connected with the internet. I will just show you an example how IoT is in our life. Technical glitches. This is also a part of IoT. Yeah. So you can see on my screen here the cloud IoT in real life. Earlier, these things, if you see on your screen, we have watch. Now it's a smart watch connected with the sensor and with the internet. It's telling how many steps we have walked, what is our sleep pattern, what is our behavior of sleeping, walking. We have now smart watches, smart television, microwaves. Everything somehow is connected to our mobile. Somehow it's part of our life. So if we talk about IoT, the IoT is gathering a lot of data, but the thing is that it doesn't have the resources. So resources comes from the cloud computing. This is the where we get the resources from the cloud computing. It has, if you can see on the screen, it is the real context how IoT works. The cloud is there, it has a storage, network, and computational resources, and on the other side we have IoT devices, and there is a communication between them. Let me tell you a little bit about what is IoT. The Gartner, it estimates that almost 95% of digital workload will be by 30% in 2022. It was only 30%, but by 2025, in 4 years, it will be almost 49%. Any data we will see in next 3 years, it will be 50%. So you can see how the data is going, the frequency of data is in cloud. And how IoT is becoming, it's about insights. Insights means it's giving new ideas. Earlier we talked about the healthcare. Now it's IoT, Internet of Things, of medical things. Sensors are the part of our body now. We have pacemakers, we have mobility sensors, we have sensor for insulins. So it's becoming more and more. For education, during the pandemic, we saw how Google Meet and other type of communication channel came and it changed our life. Here I will talk about the cloud computing. So IoT is giving you the services, but how cloud is incorporating it. Cloud computing is a set of services by IDC. Right now, almost 69% of all services right now is somehow on the cloud, 69%. And the reason for going there, 65% of industry experts choose because it's due to the flexibility. because it's very easy to adapt. That's the reason people are going on cloud. Because if we talk about in our infrastructure, earlier we used to have we need to set up a huge campus, we need to set up server rooms and switches and networks. Now you can just rent it out. So the flexibility is there. That's the reason people are moving to the cloud. And the knowledge of the power. There are many real life experiences where people using the computational intelligence, they have taken the business to very high level. Here are the models of the cloud services. It's 3 services. I will not go in detail because we have got only 10 minutes. I have to wrap up as soon as possible. So it is SaaS, software as a service. So here you get the services from the software perspective, and platform as a service, PaaS, and IS, infrastructure as a service. And now we are talking about the IoT. Here you can see we have Industry 4.0. I mean, you can see Industry 4.0. There are many things here. You can see smart vehicles are here, smart industries, robots are here. We talk about the wind energy, we talk about the smart hospitals, in travel, in electricity and business and everywhere. But the problem is with this, it comes that there's an issue with the security. One single breach, and you can see with one single breach what happens. If there is single breach, everything will be gone. So here comes the security. The security is the most important concern right now. We talk about the IoT perspective or the cloud perspective. Now here we are talking about brief. I will just take talk in brief because you can read my paper in detail. I have written there. These are the major challenges which we are going through if we talk about the IoT. First is the security. Of course, we discussed about security. Data integrity. We all have seen that. We have almost. I think almost all of us have gone through this one, that someone is impersonating us and creating a dummy account for our and just asking money through Facebook or other channels. So there's data integrity is a big issue. Then we have encryption issues. There are still, the encryption is not foolproof, which should be. Even for the bankings, we have heard that the bank account has been hacked and some banks have been hacked also in the past. And we have the biggest issue is the common framework. The issue with our country is that still somehow in our underdeveloped countries, or if we talk about the third world countries, there is still issue with the common framework. We don't have still the common framework which is being applied in Europe. If we talk about the GRDA, it is for Europe. They are a very high standard of the security and policies, but unfortunately that's not being applied in our industry right now or in our countries right now. Or if we talk about the poor countries, they are still lacking with many issues. There are no updates. If we talk about, we can see how many of us are having the real genuine Windows and how much we are getting the updates. We are still lacking these things. So these are the some challenges. I will just come with a small scenario of what type of attacks have been happening on IoT these days. We all know that Jeep company, someone hacked their system and they just ransacked on the streets. It's a real story. It's published. This is a Gartner report. They had the Stuxnet. Who knows that there was an issue with the Iran nuclear plant and it was disturbed, and they have gone almost 10-15 years back. There are many issues. The pacemaker, almost you can say Abbott has saying that 465,000 our pacemakers need the updates. They don't have updates and they are vulnerable. So they are asking the patients how to come and get their updates or change. I will just wrap up quickly. These are the main building blocks which need to be secured. The first we talk about the IoT endpoints. Endpoints start with our switches. We have, like we are here, we are sharing the internet. It has to be secured. Then we talk about the edge computing, the devices, the computers, the mobiles, what we are using. It has to be secure. And then the connectivity. So we all have gone through this one. We see there's a Wi-Fi, open, free, no password, just connected. So we don't know exactly that what type of connectivity they are using is having security or not. Then IoT cloud platform, which we as a underdeveloped country is still looking for the cheapest possible solutions. We don't see, like if we talk about the AWS backup, but if we want something cheaper, why not? Why we should spend a lot of money on AWS? Let's go for something cheaper. So still we are somehow lacking those things. And the visualization, there's an issue with the visualization. We don't visualize what threats were coming to us. So these are, you can see, these are the 4 important: data, application, communication, and user. These are the 4 important issues we are still facing. And now I will just tell you the risk scenarios. These are in the edge computing. It is in IoT endpoints, connectivity. I will not go in detail. I will just move you. These are the denial of attacks. Someone, you are the sole owner of a device. Someone is hacking your device, and now you can't reset the password of your account. So this is called man in the middle. They don't let you access to the services. Sometimes they don't let denial of service. There is a service but you can't access. So these are the common issues right now. I will just show you how it's the solution. What is the solution for the problem? This is the IoT context and this is the trustworthy network. It has to be, both of them have to be inter-secured. If any part of them is not secure, it means it is not secure. I will just show you the security solutions overview, which I have from my paper. I have just briefed these solutions. First one of all is the communication security. The most important, we talk about the communication security. I'm sorry, I'm just running for late, but I will just wrap up in 1 minute. Second is the data security. We have to think that our data is important. If someone is misinterpreting our data, or somebody is misusing our data, maybe right now we don't have the consequences, or maybe a small level we can just say, okay, no problem, that's fine. But if you talk about on a larger picture, larger scale, there is an issue with the data security. We have to think about it. Then there's the application security and the security intelligence. So these are the few building blocks we need to secure if we talk about the security. Here is the solution. I will just show you. This is how end-to-end IT security should work. From cloud to gateway to the devices, everyone has to be secure. If one of them is not secure, it means there is an issue with the security. And I will just finish my things with these are the key takeaways, that the more we are going to the security in the cloud, in IoT, we have to focus more and more on the security perspective. So this is my conclusion. Cloud IT is called to slow and steady. We tend to overestimate the effect of a technology in the short run, and we underestimate the effect in the long run. Thank you so much. So I just 2 minutes extra I have taken, so you have 3 minutes if you want to ask many questions. You are most welcome, please. From user, ma'am. I am actually from security background. My background itself is the cloud security. So we especially focus on the cloud security. We talk about the algorithm of AWS. What type of security? Right now we have AES, that is a 256 encryption. That is the highest level of the security. But I think in coming time we have to use one-time password or cipher, block cipher. I'm already working on block cipher. Many researchers are working on this one. So we are just trying to develop a model which helps to IoT devices to be more secure, because we all know that there are sensors. How many of you know that there has been a lot of updates for the smart watches? We get updates. But if you talk about the pacemaker, how many times you have seen that there is update for the pacemaker? Maybe none. Maybe once in a whole lifetime there is update. So these sensors are very critical, especially we talk about in terms of Internet of Medical Things. My research work is on that one. We are trying to make it more secure for the sensors, ma'am.
Anybody else who wants to ask the question? So the last question from my side.
If our data is not secure, somehow it all comes to the data, isn't it? So if our data is not secure, it means there is some problem. We are losing, some sort of, you can say a block is open for the security issues. There is some issue, because if we have to secure the premises, we have to secure from all sides. We just don't want to focus only that this is not related. Somehow it is related. I find it that it is related, because if we talk about any sort of technology these days, somehow it is dependent on computer and internet. So if we just leave that block open, so I feel that it has still chance.
Thank you so much. Thank you for your wonderful presentation, Mr. Doctors. Thank you.
Now I would like to invite Ayush Anand and Professor Dr. Amrendu Nandi through online mode to give presentation on exploring potential win-win outcomes of green CSR for consumer, corporates and distribution company, the case of Bihar.
Good evening, respected Chairperson Madam, Co-Chairperson Madam, and all distinguished panelists, faculty, presenters, and all of the esteemed audience. Sorry, I could not come there. My interim exams are going, so I am presenting online, and thank you for accommodating me in this mode. My topic is exploring potential win-win outcomes of green CSR for consumer, corporates, and power distribution companies for Bihar. And this paper I am presenting along with my respected Professor Nandi sir, who is my economics professor at IIT. Since we have a limited time, I'll be very brief. So power sector can be broadly divided into three segments: generation, transmission, distribution. Power sector in India and in constitution comes under concrete.
Sir, if you have any presentation, you can share it, sir.
Okay, my presentation is not coming.
No, sir.
Sorry, just a second. Sorry for that. Hope it is coming now.
Yes, sir.
Okay, sorry for that. So like I was saying, power sector comes under concurrent list. Both state and the center have the power to enact laws. And before 1991, both and all of the generation, transmission, distribution were bundled into one. But post LPG.
Sorry to interrupt, Mr. Ayush. You can go slow also. You have sufficient time. You can go a little slow also.
Okay.
Thank you so
madam.
much.
So time is of essence. So thank you, madam. Thank you for this liberty. So generation, transmission, and distribution are three components of power sector. And in 1991, before that, all the three sectors were being done as one. But post 1991 liberalization, reform started in power sector also, and 2003 Electricity Act was the watershed for power sector. The Electricity Act of 1910, 1948, and 1998 were repealed. And this was a paradigm shift which also has been captured in other literature like of Bajaj and Sharma et al. And the main provision of Electricity Act 2003 was the licensing of thermal captive generation, non-discriminatory open access, multiple directions in distribution, provision for across subsidy charges. In these 2 decades, while generation and transmission have kept up pace with reforms as has been the Indian economy, but discoms have failed to keep pace with the reforms. Now, what is the discount is that the average cost of supply, meaning in economics, the purchasing power, the cost price, is more than the selling price of the discount. There is a gap in that. And we can see that as a result, 5.16 lakh crores is the accumulated loss that discount has in their books as on 31st March 2021. And also their combined net worth is minus 44,160 crores as has been reported by the Power Finance Corporation in the latest report. Now this is a trend that we have constructed from the Central Electricity Authority dashboard. We can see that the commercial and industrial share is declining day by day. Whereas of domestic and residential it is increasing, and similarly of agriculture also it is increasing. Now, why this is also of concern is from simple economics. Now again we have plotted this curve so that this line that you can see, I hope my pointer is visible. This is my average cost of power. Okay, and commercial and industrial have an embedded cross subsidy in that, so that the power distribution company can give at a lower cost tariff to domestic and agriculture. Now, in the previous slide, we saw that this base and this base is decreasing, while this base and this base is increasing. So, from simple economics, we can see that this is again a forward function. Now, we'll go a deep dive into Bihar. So, basically, Bihar has 2 discoms, NDPDCL and SPPDCL, and these are the jurisdiction area. Again, from Power Finance Corporation, we have taken the report, and these are the comparison parameters. Now the cost, and we also equated the supply curve and the demand curve, and this is the equation of supply curve and demand curve. This equation we have found from Bihar Electricity Regulatory Commission data as well as from PFC data. A breakup of loss if you will see, whereas for Bihar it is rupees minus 1.89, that is for 1 unit of electricity sold, and discount which is rupees 1 rupees 89 paise. Whereas the national average is rupees 1.29. It is an interesting trend to be seen here that the percentage of loss contribution in case of Bihar is 87.2% is coming from domestic consumers, and quite opposite for the national 66.34% is coming from agricultural consumers. Now again we deep dive into this fact why this is happening, and this is the conclusion that we came to. And again this is the latest report of Ministry of New and Renewable Energy, Government of India as on 30/9/2020. From this, what we can see that Bihar has been able to achieve only 5.7% of its solar target, as compared to the national target average of 57.37. So there is a huge wide gap. And this despite the fact that India has witnessed one of the highest decadal drops in solar installation cost of 88%, as per International Renewable Energy Agency IRENA report. So again, this is the cause of concern that why this has not taken place, and again we went into what could be the solutions to improve the economy and improve the economic condition of DISCOM. So we simulated more. We tried to simulate and see what can be the solution. The first solution that we tried to engage into was increasing tariff for subsidized customers, whether this is possible. But again, through literature, we found out that this is not possible, as what Mandir Varma et al. Has found out that if a political party tries to raise rate and in order to turn out discount, then they will turn out of office. So, price has been overshadowed by popular politics. Secondly, what about changing the cross subsidy? Like in many developed states like Gujarat or Maharashtra, where the industrial base is quite strong, the tariff for the industrial base is quite high. Industrial consumers pay as high as 16 to 17 rupees per unit of electricity. But in Bihar, the cross tariff surcharges cannot be increased because we have a very low industrial base, and most of our industrial base is agro-based. So if any increase of tariff is being passed on, ultimately it will go to the farmers and not to the end product, because we don't have the competitive sustainable advantage. So again, these two solutions is not viable. Now third solution is demand side management. Again, we studied and report a paper by Burgess et al. Of 2020, where they have studied, I think, 18 districts of Bihar, and they have come out with this result, which says that the area that pay for the entire cost of it consume lesser power as compared to area that pay nothing. The negative side represents that this is the linear fit that they have done over the regression. And so we think that a demand side management is imperative, that needs to be done. So this is one of the possible solutions that we are proposing. Secondly, supply side management is also required, because it will reduce the input cost of power. And how that can be done? Again, solar, because LCQ, the levelized cost of electricity of solar, India has achieved a very competitive rate. Even at the world stage, we are number 3 or number 4 in terms of our economy of solar. So now we again try to find out why this has not taken place, why Bihar has not been able to adopt to solar. And despite the fact that we are very interestingly also giving subsidies as high as 65% to domestic consumers. So, as the own commission of DISCOM, which will discuss later also, they have said that large non-mounted park has not been taken up as the land cost is comparatively higher in Bihar. So, this has been a disadvantage in case of Bihar for large solar parks that have been made up in other parts of the state. So, again, we only have another solution, that rooftop solar connected could be offered. And also, now this shortfall is also hampering us, because we want Honorable Prime Minister last year COP26 Glasgow has committed a Panchamit as well as a commitment to net zero, And we also have a binding, all the DISCOM have a binding obligation of renewable purchase obligation, whereby they have to purchase a certain percentage of electricity from renewable power. But Bihar has been missing the deadline for over and again, and this time BRC has been very strict, and they have given a stricture that they have to deposit NBT, as you can see, 147.6 crore for NBPTCL is the penalty amount, and for where it is higher, 209.89 crore. So now this is a double whammy of sort for them. So because they are having a very dismal performance in terms of revenue, and then they have to pay this charge. So and third, that the binding factor, that the climate change is present and clear and present area, and so we have at any cost to scale up our renewable. So again, what can be possible solutions? We try to again see, and there was a report by Ministry of New and Renewable Energy, SARA report. SARA stands for State Rooftop Solar Attractiveness Index, where they have found out that the major reason has been the financing problem. The access to finance to rooftop has been not there, and this is again a problem. But further subsidy or financial assistance cannot be given through DISCOM or state. State is already, remember, we are giving 65%. The state is giving 65% subsidy. DISCOM already gives subsidy to domestic consumers. So we tried to find out what can be the best solution, and for that we came out that Green CSR is an instrument which can achieve both possible solutions 1 and 2, and we have modeled this out again. So DDT1 is my demand curve, that is the present demand curve, and SS1 is the present supply curve. The ideal solution that should be there, that is SS3 and DD3, and through Green CSR we will be somewhere in between. And these are the outcomes. And for Green CSR, how Green CSR? So we are proposing certain policy imperatives which will make Green CSR attractive for industry and for all the stakeholders. So we are going to discuss that briefly. So this is a brief of CSR. As we all know, 2014 it was made mandatory. 2% provision is there, and the three clauses that are there. That is, net worth should be greater than 500 crore, turnover greater than 1,000 crore, or net profit greater than 5 crore. And environmental sustainability is one of the fields where Green CSR can be done, and this is what we call here Green CSR. Now, again, we studied from Government of India website the CSR that is there, and we see that there is huge scaling of opportunities for CSR in Bihar, and how, particularly for Green CSR, we have discussed how we can attract is that by attaching some green attributes of electricity generated. So once the company installed, post installation maintenance is also an aspect, as well as the installation is correct. So companies should have some lucrativeness also. Further, as Professor Ahmad, the keynote speaker, was saying that the ESG verifiability is always a concern. So the green attribute will be certified. Now this REC mechanism and green tariff mechanism, as Government of India Ministry of Power proposed, this can come handy, because again electricity is a concurrent subject, so state has the power and DISCOM can give this green attributes. So it will be very favorable also, and as we have seen that a positive ENG also impacts in positive scoring. Various papers have suggested that. Even today morning there was one paper, I think, so on that. So this will be again good for, apart from that, another imperative latest development is that now, given the commitment that we have made of sustainability, net zero, and achieving lower, greener energy transition, our RPO has been reached, and as per the latest Ministry of Power order of 22nd July, now across state and all the designated companies have to comply to this new increased RPO target, and this is a lot higher than the previous RPO target. So the companies will also get the, okay, we are doing Green CSR, and in return, after 1 year, 2 years, we are also, as long as the donation is there, we are getting green attributes. So from their point of view, it is a win-win situation for them. And we have simulated again for Bihar, we have taken 33 points across districts and used meteorological data, and this is software, the industry software that is being used, and we have simulated and found out the P90 value. at different points for all the 33 sites.
Excuse me, sir. Sir,
And
your time limit is
for P90
exceeded.
value, we have found the average value, and using the average value, we have found out using discounted cash
Excuse me, sir.
finance tool that we use for
Sir, your time limit is exceeded.
cost of electricity, which is coming out to be rupees 3.37%, which is almost at par with the cost of domestic consumer. This is the discounted value that we have.
Excuse me, Ayush, sir.
And the life cycle is 25 years. Now, policy imperatives that we are suggesting for consumer that the upfront payment that was to make may be converted to default payment scheme based on net export. As a lead is offering brief of this in a later
Hello,
slide.
sir.
This one we have already discussed.
Hello, excuse me, sir.
Type in the chat box.
You may type also. Yes.
अभी भी बोल रहे हैं.
अभी सुनिए उनको क्या बोल रहे हैं.
Switch on.
Switch on.
Mute करो.
Oh, sorry.
Mr. Ayush, your
Somebody
time is
muted me, I think.
your time limit is exceeding. Can you please sum it up in 1
Yeah.
minute?
Thank you. 10 lakh and 10 to 15 lakh customer they default loan at rather than upfront payment and our model fits 80% times. So this is a good fit. And simulation analysis for discount also shows that we can achieve the green signal. The green cell gives at what year and for given percentage at what time this can be achieved at par with national level.
Mr.
Now,
Ayush, please conclude.
This is the last slide. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much.
And I'm also thankful to CIMP because last time was my first time I presented, and after that, based on respected directors who was then the chairperson and his motivation and encouragement, I have been able to produce some papers. So thanks CIMP and thanks madam. Thank you all for having me. Any questions if are there?
Thank you so much for such an informative presentation. Now, you can please ask.
Paper on demand supply of the renewable energy case study of Bihar. So you just discussed that there are some kind of political unwillingness to promote solar energy or renewable electricity in case of Bihar. My question is it the political unwillingness, or is it that there is lack of awareness in say government policy maker, or they don't know how what is this cost benefit analysis which you presented? So what is according to you?
Thank you. That is a brilliant question, sir. Actually, I also work as an empaneled chartered engineer for Ministry of New and Renewable Energy, apart from working in BSNL. And Beta has been my regular client where I consult them for DPRs and all the work. And it's a mixture of both. If I could get your question, you asked me whether can you rephrase? Sorry, there's some disturbance. You wanted me to answer what's
Is it that
the not there or the consumers are not aware, right?
The government not aware about this cost benefit analysis which you presented, or is it the political unwillingness to promote that renewable energy?
Sir, political? Sorry, what you said, sir?
So are the politicians are not willing to promote, or they are not aware of this calculation that renewable?
No, sir. It's not like that. That politicians are not willing to promote. Promotion is there, but what we have found out from a survey, the logistic regression that we found out was that people are not ready to pay the upfront cost. That is the problem that has led to solar not taking up at rate at which at rooftop level. Grid collective as DISCOM themselves have agreed that the land cost is higher, so we are at a disadvantage. So unless a policy imperative is there to decreasing the land cost for solar, we cannot compete with other players that are there in other states.
So if it is that case for the Bihar, then in any other state where like this is successful, the user?
Yes, sir, like Rajasthan, Gujarat, and these are the two states where they have been very successful. Gujarat in fact tops the SECI index. If you will see, sir, I will show 1 second. My screen is not visible.
Okay, it's okay. You can just compare. No need to show anything. You can just compare.
Right, so Gujarat has been a very successful model where, in fact, in Khabra and Bhuj, they have also now gone for a megawatt part, not megawatt part, gigawatt part. So There are states which have been quite successful in implementing those stuff. But we have been on board back as of now, till now.
Okay, okay, thank you.
Thank you so much, Ayush. Thank you.
Thank you, madam. Any suggestion for further improvement?
You can ask the secondary things, then you narrow down to the Bihar. Why Bihar you have taken this issue? That not coming out from your paper.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Paper presentation on the paper title Reducing Maternal Mortality Rate Through Early Referral Center.
Good evening, Chair and participants of this conference. Today, I will be sharing my paper on reducing maternal mortality rate through early referral center, which is actually a concept which I came to know when I went to Chhattisgarh in Sathi Samaj Sevi Sanstha. So, yeah, sure. So it was a good concept, and I thought writing a paper and replicating it in the many parts of the countries would be beneficial. So our Indian healthcare system, actually it's a three-tier system. In the primary sector, it consists of that village level our healthcare system. Secondary is the districts, and the tertiary sector is the institutions where apart from medication, education is also given, like AIMS and other medical colleges. The third SDG says that health for everyone for all ages. So it will align with that SDG and will help in attaining that SDG till 2030. Intervention of ERC is actually a very good concept. My sampling techniques are convenience sampling. Primary and secondary data were collected through personal interviews. Sample size of 45 respondents were taken. The personal interviews were conducted from President of Sathi, employees of Sathi, beneficiaries, attendants and district administration staff. I am also having some literature like we can see that the MMR has declined in India about 70% from 398 per 1 lakh live births to 99 to 1 lakh live births. But if we see the first review, it says that in India the MMR is 200 per 1 lakh live births as compared to it's only 21 in USA. So we are actually lagging far behind with the world standards. And if we talk about our neighboring countries also, the Sri Lanka and Nepal, they are having 35 and 170 live births. Sathi Samaj Sevi Sanstha is actually a NGO working with artisans in Chhattisgarh Bastar region. They are working with the artisans to save the Bastar Dokra craft. So apart from this, from 2016 they collaborated with UNICEF and working towards people other aspects like their apart from that boosting their economy for their health also. So the conservation of ERC happened in 2016. The role of UNICEF was major in conceptualizing this ERC. ERC is actually an early referral center. The main problem for major MMR in our country is lack of institutional deliveries. So to ensure this, the concept of ERC has been taken forward by Sathi Samaj Sevi Sanstha. Actually, ERC is a place between the patient's home and the nearest district hospital or the PHC where the institutional delivery will happen. The ERC concept is like that. In Chhattisgarh, there are many regions like at the time of delivery or when the patient needs medical assistance, it can't be provided due to the terrain difficulties and various other factors. So ERC, they identify the needy one or the patients who will need the support of ERC and bring them to that center 7 days or 15 days before the delivery time, as the prediction of exact delivery date is couldn't be done that prominently. So after taking them to the ERC, they are taken care, provided nutritional food, and the time when the delivery should happen, they are taken to the district hospital or any PHC where facilities are there through ambulance to facilitate their institutional delivery. Thus, it's helping in reducing MMR significantly in that area. And according to some papers, this is working actually in Narayanpur region of Chhattisgarh, and there the MMR has reduced significantly because of this intervention. Actually, as I was talking about, it comes under multi-sectoral Narayanpur project. The contribution of methionine, name given to A&M worker in Chhattisgarh, is very thoughtful, or it's very good in this. Sathi has also developed a motorbike ambulance, which is a unique concept. The funding is done by UNICEF. The places where conventional ambulances can't go, there Sathi takes help of this motorbike ambulance and takes the patients to their nearest ERC. In the last picture, we can see that there's a ERC and a motorbike ambulance parked in front of it. So it is the ERC, and these are some beneficiaries. This was the first model, and this is the improved one. The timeline of ERC is like that. It started in Benur and Chote Dongar, 2 districts in Bastar region. After that, with collaboration of district government and technical support from UNICEF, they could add 4 new ERCs in different places. Currently, all the ERCs are run by Sathi, and technical support is given by UNICEF. Actually, it's a model in which the manpower and the technicalities are provided by the NGO, and it's funded by the district administration. So this model can be done or replicated in the difficult terrain areas, like in Bihar. Also, we are having flood prone areas, like if we talk about the North Bihar, then floods are every year issue. So in that places it can be implemented. It can also be implemented in the northeastern states or in the deserts where reach of the PHC is not that much far. But if we talk about CHC, as we are from Bihar, we can see that the CHCs are either not functioning or on the verge of extinction, or they are actually closed. So taking that medical facility to the last mile is actually a challenge in every rural part of India, or which is not well connected with roads and all that. So if this kind of ERC is implemented or adopted by any NGO or the district government with the support of NGO, this can be beneficial to the alignment with the 3rd SDG and for the women. Actually, I am emphasizing more on NGO because government is already having that system, and we can see that they are failing at that point in working the CHC alone. And from ground, we also know that the trust of people on NGOs is far more than they have trust on the government. So if NGOs will partnership with the government for this project, I think it will be more beneficial for the people to rely upon and go to that place. Thank you.
So the women, did they show their willingness to be consulted? What was their mental makeup?
Ma'am, actually in Chhattisgarh there's a concept of healer, which we in our Bihari language we told Ojhan, something like that. So initially they were opposing this concept, like the birth which a woman gives to a child in home is better than giving it to any institution and all that. And people had also faced many cases in which they were mistreated by the government officials, or in that hospital they were not treated properly. And as Sathi was facilitating them or motivating them to go to that center, it impacted the image of Sathi. Like they told us, we went there and we were mistreated. So to overcome this difficulty, Sathi has deployed his own human resource along with A&M to motivate people. They are also containing Heart Bazaar and camps like that, where people can come and take medicines for their small diseases But when we went to witness that even a disease which is with them for I think a month, they are not going to any hospitals and all that. So the Haat Bazaar is the place to gain the trust of the people. And if you are having a good name in the society and then you will tell something, I guess the people will understand, and that's happening there actually, ma'am.
One more question. You said that you collected data. It's 46 or 49 you said. So what has been the success rate? You don't show any chart in all this. Does your hypothesis comes true that it will help them?
Ma'am, actually I didn't.
You have observed them.
Yes, ma'am. I didn't had that much time, but according to the data of Sathi, it has reduced significantly. I have added the chart in my full paper, so there it has reduced significantly, ma'am.
One more question. As you said that Sathi is referring to those women to ultimately the PHCs or CHCs. Am I right?
Yes, ma'am.
So don't it be the good idea, don't you feel that again reliving that or reviving that CHCs which are actually you are talking about are dead? Wouldn't it be a good idea to revive those or CHCs, or maybe be some of the suggestions from your side to how to revive with the help of NGOs again, which you are talking about, that they are again referring it to the CHCs which are actually dead.
Yes, ma'am, but they are referring it where the facility is there. Actually, ERC, the concept is there where in 1 day or in 2 days from the house, you can't go to any nearest CSC or PHC, or there is no road connectivity. If a delivery emergency happens, then either you have to take them on shoulders or on some bed sort of thing. So that's they are actually going to the field and recognizing the needy one who will need the help, convincing them, and with their motorbike, ambulance and other human efforts, they are taking them to ERC, providing them nutritious food for at least 7 to 14 days to, that's why, ma'am.
Okay, thank you so much for the wonderful presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
On topic, role of artificial intelligence in sustainability revolution, opportunities and challenges outreach camps in India.
Respected dignitaries on the dais, faculty members, my fellow researchers, students, good evening everyone. I am Priya Nath and I work as Director of Business Operations at Open Growth. I have done my Masters in Computer Application and I have also done MA in Psychology. I have keen interest in artificial intelligence and its impact. So today I am going to present a paper titled Role of Artificial Intelligence in Sustainability Revolution, Opportunities and Challenges. After the agricultural revolution, industry revolution and digital revolution, saving the environment is one of the biggest commercial opportunity in 21st century. This new revolution can help some of the fundamental problems the world is facing currently. It's called the sustainability revolution. In the past decade, the world has been in a very unsustainable path. The industry revolution exhausted the resources at the cost of polluting the planet with waste. Exponential growth cannot go forever in a finite world. We need to find a way where sustainability is fundamental to growth. Now, normally when we talk about sustainability, there is a misconception that if we are focusing on ecology, it will hinder the economic growth. But sustainability should not be treated as a choice between economy and ecology. We need to focus on sustainable economic growth. In 2015, UN General Assembly set up 17 SDGs intended to be achieved by 2030. This serves as a framework for setting, measuring, reporting the impact of any sustainable activity. The sustainability revolution will see an uniformity of forces to achieve these sustainable development goals. The driving forces for this revolution is technology innovation, policy shifts both in government and corporates, demand for positive societal changes from consumers and corporate. In my paper, I will be focusing on the technological innovations that will drive the new revolution, sustainability revolution. It is fueled by digitalization, connectivity, and advancement in technology.